I was not looking. Well, I mean,
I
it
told I
didn't.
said what it was, and you were like,
It didn't sound like breakfast. That's lunch.
it was like 11 o'clock. It's like brunch time. You never did brunch before?
No, I do breakfast or
You
lunch.
never had you never had brunch before?
Well, when I get brunch, I just eat breakfast foods. It's not like
Hello, it's the same thing. It's brunch is a mixture. People eat fried chicken and eggs for brunch. You don't like fried chicken?
now. Come on now. Of course, I like fried chicken,
Do you like
but
eggs?
not for breakfast.
It's chicken and waffles. It's a staple.
I'm sure.
Have you ever tried it before?
Yeah, I've had it before.
What, chicken and waffles or fried chicken and eggs?
I've had chicken and waffles before.
And chicken and egg, chicken fries and chicken is the same thing. Good morning, Barbara. Hi, y'all.
I'm
We're
sure. Good
we're on to
morning.
we're on to our normal arguing intermission. Good afternoon,
Um,
everybody.
I'm just a breakfast person, a lunch person, and a dinner person.
Have you
And
ever
then,
had breakfast for dinner?
yeah, I have
I was about to
on
say that's
special
the black
occasions, but like
in a black family, that's normal. You'll have breakfast for dinner sometimes.
pull out the
Basically,
cereal.
basically, they don't feel like cooking regular dinner, so they make you eggs and bacon for dinner.
That still works. You still gotta clean up after it. So
But yeah, but it's easier to cook compared to a bunch of other stuff.
yeah.
Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Maximize Monday.
Hi, Keisha.
Hope you all are doing well today as I sip my cup of coffee. Pumpkin spice season is back. I looked in the store. I was like, "Yo, pumpkin spice!"
I know. That's how I felt about candy corn.
Mm, hey, Keith. Hey, Barbara.
Hi,
Um,
Keisha.
if you're watching us wherever you are, if shout us out. Let us know who's watching. Again, we can't see who's watching unless you comment. Just comment. Let us know who's watching. We'd love to shout you out. And yeah, I'm excited. Pumpkin spice season is back. It used to start in September, I guess, because of the way things are. They're starting everything so early.
Yeah.
You didn't really hear much about candy corn in August. It was right September.
This is the first time I've seen it this early, but I also heard that there's going to be a shortage
Mhm.
for like
Wait,
Halloween candy this year.
mhm.
So I wonder if they're just, you know,
Yeah.
getting them out and out the way.
They claim there's a shortage, so everybody can go out and buy them.
Yeah.
Come on, Lindsay, join in the fun. Don't wait till next week. Now's the time. It's some pumpkin spice donuts. Uh,
Those are good.
yeah, other stuff. Hey, everybody. What's up, Kife? Hey, Lindsay. How are you? Lindsay, I'm almost done. The book. Hey, Tiff. Hi, Keisha. I'm on my last Harry Potter book. Hey, Helene. Did you start reading them yet, Maya?
No, I haven't.
You should read them. They're really good. Like
They're good.
between that, when I read Divergent, Hunger Games, I read that.
I
Uh,
read. Did I read the rest of Divergent?
the
I
last
don't think I read the last book.
the last book broke my heart. That is the first book that literally almost had me in tears at the end.
Yeah.
What happens at the end of the last book? It just I was almost in tears. I was like, no, no.
Trish.
I was like, is this book gonna make me cry? I was like, oh my goodness. It was but Divergent, Hunger Games, The Maze Runner, all those dystopian books. The Giver was the first one, which
Love The Giver.
The Giver is my favorite child's book.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite.
Hmm.
So much revelation in it, but it's also a good book too. I love
Yeah.
it.
No, see, I was the nerd in English class. I loved
I
reading
believe
those
that.
books.
I really believe that.
Yep. So when it was time to turn them back in at the end of the school year,
Mhm.
didn't happen. Kept it.
The Giver is one of my. I got to go back and read it again. I haven't read it in a few years, but it's my favorite kids book of all time. Uh,
Mhm.
with Hunger Games close second. I love the Hunger Games series books.
I
It's
can't get into the Hunger Games.
really the movies were good, but the books were just.
I can't get into the movies. It's just not my thing.
I love Katniss every day. I love the dystopian books, you know,
Hmm.
like Urgent, that Maze Runner. I read the Legend series. The Legend series is pretty good.
What's that?
It's called Legend. It's been a while since I read. I can't remember the guy's name, but it's one of those dystopian series where in the
Is
future.
that what the Will Smith movie
No,
is
no,
based
no, not I Am Legend. It's
on?
it's a book series called Legend.
It fit out. I didn't know.
Jesus.
Crystal clear of him right now.
Right. Anyway, how y'all doing? If it's your first time, please type VIP. Y'all excuses. It's like a brother and sister conversation, and you know we just do it. See, Lindsay, thank you. I'm telling you, we're going to start a book club, and we're going to read through some good books. I just need some people. I want to do a theology book club, but also like a regular book club.
Mm-hmm.
Ava,
Ava.
shut up. The theology book club. We read some real heavy theological books. The other one just some fun stuff, fun reading.
Yeah.
And anywho, welcome everybody to Maximize Monday. Let's get to the spiritual stuff, and we hope that everybody's well today. Wrap it up, and we can talk and hit it up. Funnel cake is this coming Friday. Go ahead, Maya, put it up.
Oh, sorry.
I'm like, where are you going? Like, all right, so I saw these series of pictures, and I thought they were really good for us to discuss. We talked about a few of those over the past few weeks. We were off last week because I had something I had to take care of, but we were back today live, and just some encouragement. And when I saw this, I was like, it's pretty interesting that when we're starting something, I don't know, I thought we did this one, but anyway, we'll talk about it again.
I don't think so. Yeah.
I don't remember. Don't ask me. We start something, it seems so huge and something that's beyond our capability.
Mm-hmm.
And we often allow the appearance of the thing, or our perception of that thing cause us to shrink back from it. But the more you do it, the more you recognize that you can do it.
Yeah.
Right? And then eventually, when you look back on it, you realize it wasn't as hard as you thought it was.
Right.
They say this saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. The problem that people have when they're trying to do big things, they're looking at the whole thing, which you're supposed to assess the whole thing. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
But don't realize that you break it up and you do part at a time, part of the time, part of the time.
Yeah.
Which makes it easier for you to do until eventually all those small parts add up to the whole thing. So I'll take this for example. Some people, they say they don't like to read or they're not good readers. Why don't you start off with reading 3 pages a day? And then eventually you'll find yourself reading. You'll kind of get into it.
Right.
5. You get into it. You know, so people say like, this book is long. It's 800 pages. Well, let's break it down. Mm-hmm. If you read 10 pages a day, that's, 80 days right there. That is 30, 60. That's 2 months and some change, right? You can break it down. But then, of course, I don't know about y'all, but me, when I start reading, sometimes I'll read about 5 or 10. Then you get into it, all of a sudden you read the whole chapter.
Yeah.
But again, it's just those small things at a time.
And I think sometimes, too, when we have something big like that, we think too much into it. So we kind of psych ourselves out of it. Oh my gosh, it's so much. Or if I read, like you said, 30 pages a day or 80 pages a day, I think sometimes that can be overwhelming. Sometimes you just got to do it. And like you said, so you get into it. Like, oh, this is actually good. And then you're reading even more than what you anticipated, but you just got to start.
Yeah. Like a business. I don't have the money to start this business, or I don't have the expertise. So why don't we start with some research? Take it one bite at a time. You have a passion for it, but you don't know how to do it. Research. Mm-hmm. Talk to people that are doing what you do, what you want to do. That's eating it one bite at a time. I think our problem is this. We want to go from idea to execution all in one moment. Mm-hmm. And That's not how it works. I mean, you've been through this stuff. We get this idea and we just want to jump to the end. We're just like, no, let's take it apart.
Yeah.
How? Well, I know you were like step A, step
Yeah,
A,
connect the dots.
two, A3, A4, B, B1, B2. But
In every step, yes.
right, every step is ironed out, not recognized. Look, it just takes. Just here it is. Take a step.
Mm-hmm.
It's like working out too. You don't
Mm-hmm.
like working out. You kind of start off 10 pounds. 10 pounds
Mm-hmm.
become easy. 20 pounds. Eventually 20 pounds becomes 30. And you just keep building until what was a struggle now becomes your norm.
Yeah.
I don't think we
Like
were
no hustle.
right there. I don't think we learn how to endure and keep moving until something that used to be a difficult thing becomes something that's just everyday for us.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I think if it were meant to be easy, then everybody would be doing it. It's that's not the purpose of it.
Mhm.
It's the, continuing the keep on doing it and learning and all that goes into it that makes it what it is,
Yeah.
right? So, I don't know, it's
Yeah.
the journey.
Yeah, it is. And I think like I look at my kids, and this is gonna be funny for you too, but they have, they're kind of growing out of their well, not so too much, their finicky eating stage.
Mhm.
Um, it looks nasty. It doesn't sound right. Have you eaten? No, I haven't eaten before, but it just looks gross. And so I remember I was eating a peach, and this is my son was younger, and he's looking like, yeah, I don't want it. I'm like,
Gross.
I'm like, you'll like it. I'm like, I know him. He likes fruit. I'm
Uh-huh.
like, you're a kid. You like kids love sugar. You'll
Mhm.
like it. So I brought this little piece off. This was safe, y'all. Little piece off. And I said something to him. And when he opened his mouth to respond, I flicked it right in his
Oh,
like right there
no.
in the tip, not down his throat,
Poor
but like
baby.
right there. And when he put it in his mouth, it hit his tongue. He was like, and started showing up like, you want some more? He's like, yes. I said, hey,
Uh-huh.
see?
Yep.
See? Like, I know you. You're going to like this. But it
Mhm.
started off with just something that small. And
Yep.
eventually his taste started to expand to liking
Mhm.
more of it. But again, we're looking at the whole thing rather than let me just try a
Yeah.
little taste,
Mhm.
little experience, and let that develop into something else.
Yep. A lot of it is just our minds and our own perceptions getting in the way because we don't like to think of ourselves as giants, you know? So we just think everything is just too big or it's too much or impossible. But like you said, when you narrow it down and seeing what you can do or even what you can get help with, you're just taking it, chunk by chunk before you're getting there.
Yeah. So it's that you look at the boulder. I can't do this, but eventually, the more you do it, the stronger you get. The more you do it, the better you get at it. I wonder why we have this notion of um, yeah, just why we are have this notion of I got to be great at it in the beginning, rather than
Mhm.
going through the phase of I'm really going to suck at this for a while. I'm not going to be good at it, but the more I practice it, the better I can get at it. Do you think we think, as the Bible says, we think too highly of ourselves, where
Yeah.
where, where it's okay to be bad at something?
Mhm. No
It's
one
like,
likes to admit to that.
but if you've never done it before, of course you're gonna be bad at it. I mean, it's a part of the nature. It's you. I think what we do it with celebrities. We think that a person we admire has always been like that until you talk to them and they tell you, I was horrible when I first started at this.
Mhm.
What I was doing, I was flimsy, flimsy. I don't know. I can't talk today. Um, you know,
It was that brunch.
don't blame the brunch, or whatever. But
Yeah.
it's. I think it's okay. I think when you see that you can be better at something, it's okay to go through that phase of I'm not going to be good at this,
Mhm.
and it doesn't diminish you that you're not going to be good at a thing in the beginning. It just, if you've never done it.
Yeah, that's interesting. And I think too, like we like, the idea of being gifted or talented where it just comes easy, right? That we forget that there is still work that needs to be put into things.
Yeah. Let me ask you this question, then. I'm glad you brought that up. That's a good thought. We think because somebody's gifted at a thing, it's actually
Mhm.
easy for them to do.
Mhm.
But any person that I know, if they're gifted at something, they make it look easy more than it
Right.
actually is easy.
Right.
I think the difference is your confidence grows, your ability grows, your technique grows.
Mhm.
And as your confidence grows, you make it look easier than what it actually is. Because again, the difficult becomes your norm.
Right.
Like people say, I don't never see you guys so nervous when you teach or preach. Trust me, there's nerves there.
Mhm.
We've grown to the place to manage those nerves where it doesn't affect what
Right.
we do. And when you've
Right.
done it enough times, you kind of get used to overcoming the nerves, but it doesn't eliminate
Mhm.
the nerves and the fears occasionally. And,
And the pain, because thinking about, like, I don't know, ballerinas, like, their feet are jacked up, they're in pain all the time, but they make it look so effortless and
Mhm.
graceful and everything, so, that's another piece of it too that we forget about.
Yeah, that is difficult. Like
Mhm.
when you all talk, like I love technology, but I don't like all the process of technology. So when
Mhm.
people talk to me about editing videos and editing sound and all that comes into sound checks and all this stuff, I'm like, I'm overwhelmed. This is too
Uh-huh.
much. And they're like, well, this video, it worked out great, but it took me 4 hours to do it. And I'm like, 4 hours?
4 hours is great.
Or whatever. I'm just saying, I'm just using
Yeah.
4 hours just as but I'm like, to me, that's tedious but again, that's
Mhm.
not my thing. But to
Mhm.
somebody that loves it, that four,
I was
that,
gonna say,
yeah, doing that editing can go by like that.
and I think passion is important because when you're passionate about something, it doesn't matter what, you're going to find a way to make it work.
Yeah, and I think passion helps you deal with the conditions that do it.
Mhm.
So for me, editing a video for 4 to 8 hours will feel like, I don't want to say like death, but it,
Not quite, almost.
it'll be like, oh my, like who wants to do this?
You know
Versus,
what makes it bad?
but
Is when, like, the technology doesn't support you. So, like, your computer crashes or your
yeah,
camera freezes, like, that's when it's
you
like,
lose and have to start it all over again.
"Just bury me now."
Right? It's horrible. But for
Yeah.
somebody like me, for an area that I have passion
Mhm.
in, I'm like, oh, it took me an hour, 2 hours to do that, but it felt like it took 30 minutes to do because
Yeah.
when you're passionate for something, that passion gives you the ability, the mindset to do the process. But
Mhm.
uh, I think we love when that, as the picture, the rock is big and becomes small, but we don't like the process in between.
Yeah. It's all a part of the journey. It is, and you can't have one without the other. You have to go through all the little minute things before you can get to the big things that we all appreciate.
You're basically talking about patience,
Yep.
which is a hard thing for many people because we want everything microwaved. We want
The
it
way
done.
we want it.
I,
Yeah.
I think part of it is people give the illusion that everything's done overnight.
Mhm.
But the crazy thing is that, well, I get it. We're raising people in an environment of convenience,
Mhm.
and where you can get everything fast. Uh, I remember like going to restaurants, and I'm like, if you order this steak from this place, it's going to be out in 20 minutes,
Mhm.
if that. Probably probably shorter than that.
Mhm.
If you order a steak from this place, it's going to take a little longer.
Yeah.
But look at the quality of what you're getting in turn.
Mhm.
But again, it's like you go to McDonald's, your hamburger's out there in what, less than 5 minutes, if that.
Right.
You go somewhere else, order a hamburger, it's going to take them a little while to prep it, get it right, season right, but the taste is
Mhm.
dramatically different.
Yep.
But we're in that thing. I gotta have it now. It's gotta be quick.
Yeah.
And if it's not quick, I don't want it.
Yeah. I think that, and I think sometimes too, it's hard to bounce back when things don't go to plan. So bounce back and go to plan B. Okay, if this doesn't work, let me try this. I think sometimes it's hard to accept that.
Elaborate.
No, I'm just fine. I think sometimes, like, and I'll just speak for myself. I'm a planner. I like to chart out, how I like things to go. And when things don't go that way, it's easy to think, oh, this isn't going to work. When that's not the case, you just need to go a different route.
Yeah. Rather than give up, it's not working.
Mm-hmm.
How can I make this work?
Yeah.
Now that you brought it up, I can see why some people succeed and others don't.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that people are more gifted than others. Some people are just more determined than other people.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of the biggest things.
Mm-hmm.
Is you got people that are willing to be determined, and I am going to make this work.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody you talk to that succeeded has that type of mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they don't have moments where they feel like giving up, or they have a moment where they quit, but they kind of get back in the swing. I know you know it. I know people who are way more gifted than some other people,
mm-hmm.
but they lack the determination and the drive. And then people that are less gifted go further
mm-hmm.
because they have the drive, their determination, they have the tenacity. There are a lot of, think about it.
Yeah.
The biggest musical artists out there aren't the best singers.
Nope.
The best singer out there is probably somewhere in the storefront or somewhere where nobody ever, they may be singing in the club somewhere locally, but nobody knows who they are.
Yeah.
And not because of the chart, it could be other factors, but you get what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Having a lot of gifts doesn't mean you're going to make it.
Yeah.
There's other factors in place.
Yeah. You have to be persistent. It just takes one opportunity to open the door to something greater. But if you give up, you're not going to get there.
Mm-hmm. You watch Dreamgirls, right? Well, of course you do. You like music.
Now I'm going to have the whole soundtrack playing in my head today. Thank you.
This is not shade at all. This is just, a lot of people said this is no shade at all.
Mm-hmm.
Jennifer Hudson outsang everybody in that movie.
She did.
Everybody in that movie.
Everybody.
The singer's more popular than her for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Because it's not about just how good you sound. It's
right.
Other factors that people play into it. Whether that's fair or not. So I'm not talking about why. I don't know why. It's not my business. I don't care really. But you get what I'm saying.
I hear you.
Being able to do something better than somebody else doesn't mean that,
mm-hmm.
it's there.
Yeah.
And that's no shade to anybody, her or anybody else. It's just stating a reality.
That's true. But I think that's what we do. We compare ourselves to other people instead of just being ourselves and being unique to ourselves. And that, for me, is what I think makes you stand out. Just thinking about calendars. There's 18,000 billion trillion calendars out there. Why would I want to make a calendar? But if I put my own spin on it, someone likes it, it expands, it becomes a multi-billion-dollar industry, So
yeah.
It's you that makes what you're doing special.
Yes, true. Because you put your little flavor on it, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you're right. Waiting can, Lindsay, you're right. Waiting can make you feel vulnerable and insecure. And part of that, that insecure, vulnerable stage, it almost feels like you're undressed, if I can say it like that.
Mm-hmm.
And there's always that in between. It's like if you either lose weight or gain weight. Mm-hmm. You're in between clothes. You never feel comfortable in them. Mm-hmm. It's like you're afraid of something new because you know, but you don't want to get rid of your old stuff. So you got something just for that in between, and it never makes you feel quite right because it's transitional.
Mm-hmm.
But it's on the road to hopefully something more productive and better. But there's usually something in that vulnerable stage that God's trying to teach us.
Exactly.
Jesus, the cross made Jesus look vulnerable when it was actually also confirming who he was.
Mm-hmm.
So even in seasons of vulnerability, God reveals who we are in those seasons.
Right.
Because on the cross, he's hanging there helping people. He's hanging there forgiving people,
Mm-hmm.
exposed. He's vulnerable. But there's something in there that is revealing this Messiah in him.
Yeah.
So whenever we experience seasons of vulnerability, one of the things we've been saying it in Bible study for weeks, and I hope people are getting it. Whenever I experience those seasons, those difficult times, Lord, what are you trying to teach me? Help me get this lesson so I don't have to extend this longer than I have to.
Yeah.
And it takes some inflection, some prayer, and some learning. If I got to go through this, Lord, teach me what I need to learn during this process.
Yeah.
I don't want to miss the lesson.
Mm-hmm.
And that will help you manage those, what we call those in-between seasons.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I did a video on this last week about, asking when was the last time you were vulnerable? Because I feel like that's when we're in that space, that's something that we try to run.
You?
What?
Talked about vulnerability? You?
I did.
You? Vulnerable? You?
I'm vulnerable with myself.
I'm teasing. I'm playing good.
Like I was saying. I feel like being vulnerable, that we try to run away from it, where you put ourselves in denial and not facing, what our vulnerabilities are, because like you said, there's so much growth that can come out of just being vulnerable, and healing different things that we need to heal in order to move past them. But sometimes it's just hard just to sit in that.
Yeah.
And I think it's a good thing.
Yeah, it is. I think it's new information. Like when I started going back to school, the stuff I was learning and reading, I was like, I feel so stupid. I was like, I don't know a thing. Now this was 2 years ago, mind you. I'm sitting there like, I'm not claiming to be an expert in the Bible or I knew everything about scripture, but I was sitting there like, I don't know anything about this Bible. I was like, literally. And then a lot of people will tell you that when you go to different settings and learn different things, you go through that period of, I feel so stupid. I don't know nothing. And then eventually, the more you learn, the more comfortable you start to feel. But I think, to me, real learning is supposed to put you in that place of vulnerability, of realizing what you don't know.
Yeah.
But give you a passion to learn more about stuff that you should.
It humbles you, that's for sure.
It really does. It's like, whew, I don't know nothing. But I think that's important though. If that's how you know you really got good mentorship, good teaching, and good leading, is when you got people in your life that their knowledge makes you feel like you don't know much of anything. Anywho, it is almost 12:30. We spent like the first 5 minutes talking trash to each other, but still.
To each other.
Right. But anyway, but strive to learn. Those vulnerable seasons, God's trying to teach you something in there. And if you learn to be patient, like I learned, I was patient, kept learning, and stuff started to click. Stuff started to click. I said, okay, I'm on to something. I'm starting to kind of get it. But you go through those seasons with unknowing. And if you keep going, keep sticking with it, it'll start to kind of gel and make sense. But you have to go through that period of, being undone, as the Bible says, where you realize, you feel like you don't know nothing. Yeah. That's a good place to be.
Yeah.
It's a good place to be. Anywho, please don't forget to join us. What's tomorrow night?
Tomorrow night, I believe it is Safe House Men's Ministry. Yep. Okay. Safe House Men's Ministry. And then on Wednesday, of course, we have our Word Impact Gathering at 7 p.m. On Point on Saturday with Emerging Worship, Saturday evening at 6. And then, I almost forgot. Fourth Friday is this week. There's a lot happening this week. So Fourth Friday experience is this Friday at 6:30 on location. So if you're in the area, we'd love for you to come out. We have food available for purchase, fun and games. And of course, gospel artist Jermaine Dolly will be here for a concert. And then this is our last week of Catch the Fire, our back to school drive. So we encourage you to, really go ahead and start collecting those book supplies, those book bags and school supplies that we can donate to our school-aged children in the area. We'll be at Lindenwold High School, East Side High on Saturday, starting at 9 a.m. So don't wait till last minute, to show up, because we'll be out there until supplies last. And then we're also going to be at Forest Hill School on Monday for an event that they're having there. So I'm excited. I'm excited for, this is always one of my favorite campaigns that we do throughout the year.
Yeah,
it's gonna be
help the kids out. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Well, if all hearts and minds are clear, again, thank you all for helping us with the backpack drive so far. I went to Five Below today. They were closed when I was there.
No.
I got there. Yeah, I didn't look at it. I was at Whole Foods and I was like, I'll stop by.
It was like 6 o'clock in the morning.
No, it was like after 9 o'clock.
Oh, same difference.
They open at 10.
Oh,
I'm an early riser, so I know you like to sleep till like noon. Yeah,
it's always the right time to sleep.
Yeah, whatever. Had some kids and change everything up.
You're right.
All right. You keep saying that.
I believe you.
Yeah. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all later.
Bye.
Bye.